Having previously made a basic site, including the pages, making sure the resolution is correct, the colour scheme so it appeals to the target audience, including some of the facts, some of the images, and including some accessibility features for visually impaired users, such as the alt text, across a website with a consistent design, we can now look at the other requirements. The first requirement is to look at the page template. The page template needs a banner including suitable text and the campaign logo. The campaign logo is called logo.png and is found in the images folder. As you have completed in your previous CiDA tasks, the easiest way to make a banner will be through navigating to the assets folder and into the images. We can find the logo here. If we open up the Photoshop app, from the Photoshop menu, we'll select a new file. We've been informed that the banner needs to be 800 by 150 pixels. So we can choose 800 by 150, and I'm going to have this as a transparent background. And press OK. The main component was the logo. So I'll drag the logo over the top and position it where I think it looks good and set that through. I might include some other images as well. I might decide that the beans can be added. And maybe the strawberries. Finally, for the banner, I've been informed that it needs some suitable text along with the campaign logo. I can go back into my info document and I see that there's a huge amount of information within the document. I might decide to simply make something along the lines of a tagline. Perhaps something along the lines of Grubberlicious, we aim to help students fend for themselves in the kitchen. So I'm going to copy that. Going back into my banner, I'm going to go to the text tool and draw out an area, and I'll paste my text over the top. I can then manipulate that by perhaps centering it, changing the text size a little bit, maybe changing the colour of how the text appears, and I can position that somewhere I feel it appropriate. I can then save this image, and again I need to save it as a PNG file in a location that I'll find easily, and I'll call it banner. I can now insert the banner into my web page. I can navigate to the location where I saved it and just drag it in. And I can place that centered somewhere where I feel it looks appropriate. What I could also do is use my master page. I can select my master page here and I can paste in my banner. I can delete some of this content from this part and move my banner down, keeping it centered. If I go back to my home page, I can delete the original banner that I placed in, and moving part of this element down, I'll see my banner has been placed there. I've used my master page to always include that part of the banner. The next part of the task was to ensure that we have a navigation bar which links the home page, the kitchen survival page and the meals page. My home page will automatically appear, but the new page that I've produced, the kitchen survival, currently doesn't have a tab in the navigation bar. Clicking on any of the pages that we've created, we can now right click any of the pages that we've created and go to Page Properties. From the Navigation tab, we can choose to include the page in the site navigation and press OK. We'll now notice that the kitchen survival page is also included. And we can do the same for the meals. We can choose to include the page. The two other pages that we created, which link off of meals, will now be included in the drop-down menu. If we now preview our site, we'll notice that we've got the home page, the kitchen survival page, and the meals page. And hovering over the meals page, we then get our subcategories, tip of the week or meal of the week. And so if we go back to our client requirements, we've now made the meals page link to the tip of the week and the meal of the week. We might decide that actually from the meals page we do make it a little bit easier to find the two submenus. For now, I'm going to delete quite a large section of this so it makes it a little bit clearer to see. And I could include some artistic text which says tip of the week. And I'll reduce the size of that quite significantly. And I could copy that and paste that. But this time, change it to meal of the week. For each of these, I could then select and right click and choose hyperlink. I could choose one of my site pages and from the subcategory choose tip of the week, and I could do the same for meal of the week. And this process can be done with anything. So it could in fact be a picture that takes me to that. Again, selecting any image, I could paste in and right click and again choose hyperlink to my particular part. Now if I re-preview this, I've still got my links by the submenu. I can now click on any of the parts that I've inserted and they'll take me through to the page that I've created. Now, as I've stressed earlier, this is all very messy and very quickly done. You need to spend some time in each of your components and only include the key bits that you think work, as well as really consider the design and any images and text that you've included. Any parts of a template that aren't being used must be deleted out. The final part of the page template is to insert an external link which goes to this website. From Web Plus and going to our master slide, we'll notice that we've got our navigation bar here. We can now choose from the pages a new offsite link, and we can give it a menu name. In this case, I'm going to call it Grubberlicious. And we can choose the hyperlink, which is going now to an internet page. And I can press OK. Now I can preview this site again and I'll see my external link here. Now remember, you don't need to make sure that the external links work. almost certainly you'll be blocked. And that's because you'll have an internet ban when completing this assignment. Looking back through the key components then, we've included a banner which has a certain dimension, we've added the navigation bar, and we've added an external link. Previously, we've already changed all the images and the video files to the appropriate file type and so that they don't exceed the maximum size. We can now add some of the final parts of the Grubblicious website. We need to create a box on the homepage. Now I'm going to delete all of the content on the homepage that I'm not currently using. Hopefully yours will have some filled-in content, including the text from the info file. And to insert a box, we can simply choose our shape and place in. We need to add some text from the info file and use a different background colour for the box to the rest of the homepage. Starting with the background colour, having it selected, we can simply choose a colour to place it for. And we can then include some text by drawing out where we want it to go, choosing the size of the text that we want, and then from the info file, we can add some text. I'll select this part and paste it in. Again, I'll manipulate where I place that. And all elements of this can be changed. So later on I might decide that that's a little bit too small to read, and I can simply select it and make it bigger. Within the box, we need to use an HT tag for the header, Welcome to Grubblicious. I'm going to drop this text down a little, and I'm going to add a new text box into here. Here I'll write, Welcome to Grubblicious. That needs to be centered, and I'll place it in the middle of the box. And then I need to include the H2 tag. I'll click on the View HTML Source button, where I've got the code for Welcome to Grubblicious. I'll just include the H2 tag either side. And press OK. I've also been informed to add the logo from the Images folder and position it on the right hand side of the box. I'm going to go to the Images and drop in the logo, and again I'll move this original bit of writing out of the way and I'll place it, the logo, just under. If I go into my HTML code, the part which says add code equals here, I'm going to include the words align equals right. And press OK. The final part of the task is to check that all the images have been included. We need the microwave cooking PNG in the kitchen survival page, and so I'd need to find the microwave cooking and add that somewhere. I'd need the jacket potato in tip of the week. $5 a day on the meals. It says I need to edit 5 a day to include an appropriate image chosen from the images folder. Now I could either place this where I know it's going to stay, and for my images place something over the top, or if I had time I could navigate back through into Photoshop open up my 5 a day, and then also one of the images that I wanted to use, and I could scale it appropriately to position that I think is suitable, and I could simply save this with a suitable title and as a PNG somewhere where I can find. This way I can then simply drag this into my area, and when this is scaled all parts of the image will scale appropriately. Whilst in the previous, where I simply dragged over the top, scaling one part will leave the second image where it was. So if you've got time, quickly placing this into Photoshop is a much better way to do it. We've already formatted all the images from the very start. So we can now look at meal of the week. We need a rollover image using the stuffed peppers ingredients JPEG. Choosing the insert interactive object rollover image, we can browse our normal image and was the stuffed peppers ingredients, and we can have the over as the method. Choosing OK and drawing this out, we've then got our ingredients that become the method. Previewing the site will show the rollover image. We need to include some thumbnails on the meals page which use appropriate images or cropped images from the images folder to create links to the tip of a week page and the meal of a week page. We've already done this previously. If we go to our meals page, we'll notice that we had from the meals navigation bar the drop-down menus, and we also included some text with some hyperlinks. It's asking us to include some appropriate images to link that through. So as previously, we can drag in any appropriate image that we think. In this case, I'm going to use the frying pan, and I'm going to scale it down. And I might right click this one and choose hyperlink. I'd like it to go to one of my site pages, in which case it's the tip of the week. I can then choose my alt and title and just type in tip of the week. If I then preview this, hovering over the image will show me tip of the week, and I can click on this to be taken to what will be my tip of the week page. The penultimate task is to include a video which needs to be embedded on the meal of the week page, and it needs to play on a click. If I go to the meal of the week page I can choose Insert, Media, Video Player. Choosing OK, I can add my file by going to my assets and choosing the video, and I can press OK. I can then drag out the size of video that I require, and I can right click and choose Edit Video Player. On my settings, I'm going to check that autoplay is off, and this will require the user from clicking on it to play. Again, I can preview the site, and I'll notice my video is loaded but isn't currently playing. Will only play when clicked on. The very final task is to add an email link for further information, and the email address is found in the info file. I'm going to choose my home page. I'm going to insert some text which says email. It's specified that the email address is found in the info. And if I scroll down, I'll see it here. I can right click this and choose hyperlink. I can then choose internet email and include the info. I can then press OK. And so clicking on this will open up my email application to send a link. And so that's the last of the tasks that have been laid out from a client brief. Now remember, the site that I've produced here has no consistency, the design does not look good, there are elements from the templates that have still been kept, and overall it's just very, very messy. It's really important that you only include the elements that you require, and there's a nice consistent look and feel to the site. While you're there, have a look through any of the elements that you're unhappy with. One that stands out to me is the banner. It's not very easy to read, and with a little extra time it could have been easily improved. If you have time, go back and improve these aspects. But do remember, there are a further 6 marks available from Activity 2. And that's where you have to complete the evaluation of your site. By opening up the evaluation document and going through the key parts. Why did you choose the design that you did? And which bits are important? Justify these choices in relation to the client brief and suggest further improvements for your site. You should leave somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes for this final activity.